folks join. Thank you for joining us tonight for Tell Me About Yourself, Mastering the Elevator Pitch. It's part of our job and internship fair preparation series. Before I turn it over to Anna, I just wanted to go through a couple of things. First, my name's Emily. I'm the Assistant Director of Career Education at the Career Center. I'll be kind of doing the back end facilitation. So if you experience any tech issues or if something goes on and something freezes, please let us know either in the chat or Q&A. We'll also moderate the chat and Q&A. So if you do have any questions as they arise during Anna's presentation, don't hesitate to send us a message. But with that, I am going to turn it over to Anna Littman, CAS and SOE Career Advisor, for her presentation on Tell Me About Yourself, Mastering the Elevator Pitch.
Okay, thank you, Emily. Thank you so much. And hello, everyone. And I'm very excited to present tonight to you on that topic of mastering the elevator pitch. And honestly, this topic caused me in the past some stress, but I believe I have figured out how to go about it. For myself as well as for students that I advise, and I'm very happy to share with you some tips and strategies. And I have prepared a short presentation for you, so let me share screen with you right now, and we will start. Okay. Okay, so what I'm hoping that by the end of this webinar, you will know what an effective elevator pitch is and what is not. Then I hope that you will also learn how to stand out at our in-person job and internship fair that will take place on September 28th. It's Wednesday from 1 to 4 p.m. and it will take place at Bender in Arena. And also, I hope that by the end of this webinar, you will also be able to create some actionable items for yourself. Just create a pre-fair to-do list that you will need to, that I will strongly recommend working maybe this weekend and definitely complete by next Wednesday. And also, as a bonus, if we have time, I would be happy to share with you some advice, some tips about how to nail elevator pitches anywhere, at virtual fairs, networking receptions, metro. So that's the plan, is that I will try to complete my presentation in about 25 minutes, and then we have a Q&A portion for another 25 minutes because we have the whole hour for us, 55 minutes. Okay, so before we start, I would like to tell you a few words about myself. So my name is Anna Littman, and I'm a career advisor. And in my over 13 years of working at AU Career Center, I helped hundreds and hundreds of undergraduate and graduate students successfully engage with employers. Prior to AU, I had several careers. I was a school teacher, a linguist, and a consultant at the World Bank. And there I had an opportunity to work on large-scale international projects, and I interacted with multiple teams and organizations. And those experiences, they helped me understand professional dynamic and some hiring and recruitment practices, and most importantly, how to engage and how to stand out to hiring managers. So I'm very happy today to share with you a simple three-step strategy, tips, and some examples that you can easily apply and hopefully feel ready to engage and stand out to employers at the upcoming job fair or and in any other networking situations, either in person or online. So please stay, listen, and ask me questions. So you have probably guessed that I give you my version of an elevator pitch. So my purpose, the purpose of that elevator pitch was that I wanted to convince you to stay and to listen to my advice. So let's look at at the kind of components of my elevator pitch. So it was quite long. Well, that's, I'm guilty, that's, I like to talk. And that's I try to keep it shorter, but it is what it is. And also, when for this particular occasion, my present introduction, my EP, well, it's okay that it's a little bit long because I do have time, I have your attention. So I decided I can go a little bit longer on that. I also included some specific details about my experience. Like I said, 13 years, and I mentioned World Bank, again, to kind of attract your attention, hopefully. I also wrote down some, kind of points when I was thinking about my introduction to you, and then I practiced saying it. Hopefully I smiled, and hopefully I presented it with enthusiasm. It's a little bit, late right now. It's kind of dark and gray, but I tried. So that was my elevator pitch, and we use this word elevator pitch. We used it I've already used it several times, and we have it in our in the title of our webinar. So what is an elevator pitch? Well, the story goes that there was a conversation that happened many decades ago. Well, not that long, but it happened in the elevator. So a lucky person stepped into an elevator, and they were very lucky because there were only there were no other people, but only the CEO of the company that person worked. So this person decided that they will not lose this opportunity, and started telling the CEO about themselves, about their ideas, and they did it so well, and probably and were able to do it very succinctly and effectively, that the CEO wanted to continue the conversation, was very impressed with that person, which resulted in, and by the time when the CEO reached their destination floor, they were very impressed, and they wanted to continue the conversation with this person, and that resulted in that person's promotion, and with the elevator pitch entering our vernacular. Not sure whether this story is true, but it's one of these, of the legends. And so that's then your elevator pitch is, what it should be. It should be a short narrative about you. Some people call it like a story, and it should feature one or two relevant or strong skills that you have, maybe one or two relevant experiences and interests. And what's the purpose of this elevator pitch? The purpose is to get attention of a recruiter or a hiring manager or of a potential professional connection. And what's the most important probably point that I want to make right now is the purpose of it to start a conversation. It's just only the beginning of the conversation. So where you can use your elevator pitch or different various elevator pitches. So at the job internship fair, the one that is coming next Wednesday, at the employer events, employee meetups, at networking receptions, and informational interviews, or maybe conferences, or when you present. So there are different situations where you need to introduce yourself professionally, and all these different situations, I think they call for different elevator pitches. So I strongly recommend not to think only, okay, I create one elevator pitch and I will use it everywhere. No, I would like to encourage you to think about the whole menu of elevator pitches. Okay, so I hear quite often from students that they don't feel so excited about this prospect of talking about themselves everywhere in different situations, kind of promoting themselves. Many feel that it's a little bit maybe fake, or so they're not feeling comfortable. And why they ask me, why can't we just send a resume, apply, and that's how we will get a job or get an opportunity or an internship? Well, so what I tell my students is that the data shows, the employment data shows that 8 out of 10 jobs are found through networking. So that's that's why I very much encourage you to network, to engage with professionals, with alums, with recruiters. And when you engage and start a conversation, and that's what I would also recommend and encourage you to not to go and actively engage, start a conversation. You will need, as I said, a whole menu of elevator pitches. Okay, I clicked on something. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so I think I'm not sure. I think I'm here. Sorry about this. Thank you for your patience. Okay, I think I'm in the right place. Okay. Okay, so creating an elevator pitch or elevator pitches, it takes time. And that's what it takes time, it takes some patience, and it also takes some resources. And you have these resources, you have career advisors, so we will be more than happy to help you with creating and perfecting your elevator pitches. But now let's quickly talk about key attributes of an effective elevator pitch. So the first attribute is that it should be targeted at your audience. And another attribute I've already mentioned, it should be short, sweet, and enticing. So think of an appetizer. That's what a good elevator pitch is. It just wants, like an appetizer. People would like to, when they have an appetizer, then that kind of awakens their appetite. They want to have more, more food, and expect more with enthusiasm in their meal. So the same with the elevator pitch. It should entice and what an appetite of the person who you are talking to, engaging with, to maybe to learn more about you, maybe to read your resume, maybe to invite you to an interview, or have a coffee with you, or have a phone conversation with you, or text you. So in some cases, it's good to talk a little bit more substantively about yourself. Or, the situation is that you cannot talk more substantively about yourself at the very beginning of the conversation. Just maybe 1 or 2 sentences will be sufficient. So let me then tell you about what is a bad elevator pitch, because it's important to remember. And so the bad elevator pitches is when a person talks about themselves, and they just give you, at the very beginning, you just start a conversation with this person, you say hello, and that person will immediately start telling you the whole everything about themselves, about the experiences, all accomplishments, and all their skills, and it goes on and on. Or another, when a person starts kind of telling you right away in the beginning of the conversation about their doubts, their problems, their challenges. Another bad elevator pitch is when a person just throw facts to you, just give unrelated facts. Or the elevator pitch, their introduction is all memorized, so it's very robotic. The person is not smiling, just kind of give you and try to remember what they have prepared. Or it could be very short, just say 1 sentence, and then that's it, and they don't say anything else. Or it's very, very long. So you don't definitely want that to happen to your the person who you're talking to, that people will not be interested to continue conversation with you, will be either too tired or won't be interested. So let's then cook something interesting and something exciting and enticing. So I would suggest that we will use a very simple 3-step process. So think 3 P's: prepare, practice, and pilot. So what I mean by that, let's start with the first step: prepare. So in order to prepare your elevator pitch, I would suggest you will research the event format, and you will also research and think who you will be talking to at that event. The next thing, I would suggest that you will select your best or the most relevant ingredients. So what I'm thinking here, it's your strengths, are some maybe success stories, maybe some good skills. You can, at the beginning, you can just kind of put it on paper, just jot that down, but then you will, because remembering that it's a short, right? It's a short introduction, so you don't want to make it long and include everything. then you will select what's, the most, as I said, the best, or maybe the most relevant for in this situation for that particular audience. Then you need to practice it. I would suggest you need to record yourself, or just go and, bug your friends and advisors. There's no bugging or nagging. Honestly, we love helping you. But it's important to practice. And maybe standing in front of the mirror, but practicing is important. And the third piece for pilot, what I mean by that, don't panic, don't overthink it. Go and try it, play it out in public. Go and look for opportunities to introduce yourself professionally. Praise yourself for doing it, for overcoming your fears, and then keep perfecting your pitch. You will have another opportunity. Maybe you will think of another very short way and very smart way and witty way to present yourself. Wonderful. Just keep practicing, keep piloting, keep practicing, and keep praising yourself. So let's think about the job and internship fair that we will have less than a week from today. So the format of that event will be in person. So there will be lots of people. Well, the picture that I have is not, unfortunately, from our fair. I couldn't find the one that I could use here, but I think that this picture gives you the kind of the understanding a little bit that it will be a lot of people and it will be noisy. There could be lines to employers. So when you have a chance, if there is a line to the employer who you want to talk to, so when it's your chance to talk to the employer, make sure that you maybe talk a little bit louder. You're just raising your voice a little bit, not too much, but you want to be heard, right? So when you're preparing for the job fair, so think about the employer's objective. So different employers are there for different reasons. Some of them want to find an intern, some of them want to find an employee for themselves. Some of them just, kind of want to engage in maybe for future opportunities. So they're looking for relevant skills for their organization and also for the right attitude. So what is that right attitude? I can tell you the right attitude mostly is the enthusiasm, is the interest, is that the student who they are talking to, or a recent alum or not so recent alum, they project and share their enthusiasm for interacting with this employer. So your objective when you go to the employer is, it could be different. Different people have different objectives. You may want to be invited to an interview because you're looking for an internship or a job right now, or you want to network for future opportunities because maybe you're thinking about internship next year, or maybe you will be looking for a job when you graduate. So those questions are important to ask yourself when you're preparing a pitch, because it will help you to create different pitches for different employers, and it will also help you to, I think, it will put you in the right kind of state of mind when you're going to the job fair and you know what you want to get out of it. So let's kind of start designing your elevator pitch for the job fair. So I would suggest that you will try to create something that will be maybe 30 or 60 seconds long, maybe about 4 or 7 sentences. So in the content, I would suggest that you include your name, maybe your major or your program, some basic facts, school year, maybe graduation date, if that's important, because you're looking for a job. Maybe if you're not, if you're not, if you're not an upperclassman, and you're not looking for a job, but you're talking with an employer about potential opportunities, you don't need to kind of to talk about your graduation date. Then, one or two relevant skills or related experiences or accomplishments and your career interests, and try to connect all of those to the specific employer. And then think about good questions to ask the employer. And important reminder again, so research employers. I would suggest that's the first step when you create an elevator pitch. So that don't just start thinking about yourself. First, research employers, select who you want to talk to. Then look at their website, figure out what you want to tell them, what will be relevant for them, and then start creating an elevator pitch, and then maybe like different versions of your elevator pitches, customizing them to different employers. So I want you to give a tip number one. So and it's about organizing your content. So stories are memorable. That's what we know, even short ones. So I would suggest that you will organize your elevator pitch as a little story that will have a little bit about your past, your present, and the future. So you can try different combinations. It could be present. You will talk about present, like basic facts, then about some past experience, then about your future goals, or you can talk about your future goals, and then about your present, and then about your past. So you can use connectors, when, I, because, and that's why. So play with it, because you may really I think it's important to find your own voice and be comfortable in how you do it. Templates are good when you create the templates for yourself. When you use other people's templates, maybe it's not, it may not work that well because they're other people's templates. So let me share with you a sample elevator pitch for an employer, Shepherd Pratt. That employee came to the job fair last year, and I worked with a student on the elevator pitch, and then she engaged with that employer last time, and she got a job. So I figured out that for this workshop, I would like to show you something that I know that worked. Okay. So we'll use my name for that. So that was the students. Just a moment, I will show you. Okay. So hi, my name is Anna. I'm graduating in December. I'm majoring in health promotion, and I'm passionate about wellness, nutrition, and being physically active. So last year, I volunteered for a virtual support group of single Spanish-speaking mothers. I connected them with wellness resources for the teens struggling with mental health challenges. And that experience helped me strengthen my Spanish skills. And it also solidified my desire to provide hands-on assistance to people with mental health needs. And that's why I'm intrigued by the direct support professional position with Shepherd Pratt that's listed on Handshake. So could you tell me more about this position? And she also included something like that. So I was very excited to learn that the occupational therapy practice originated in Shepherd Pratt 100 years ago. So that's what I want to do in 5 or 6 years, but I would like to work for a couple years before going to grad school. So, well, you see, because it's written here and I'm kind of reading it, it's not easy for me to, and there's no person who I'm talking to, so it's not kind of easy for me to sound kind of natural. But I just wanted to show here the ingredients in this elevator pitch, and also yeah, so the ones that I highlighted here. So the words that this person included: support, hands-on, strengthen my Spanish skills. That's all relevant skills for that particular employer, Shepherd Pratt. And you don't try to deliver your elevator pitch like the way how you maybe kind of created it before the fair. Be in the moment. So, for example, if you come and you say, "Hi, my name is Anna. I'm graduating in December, majoring in health promotion," and then the employer said, "Oh, wonderful. So, well, tell me more about yourself." So then you will say, maybe a little bit more about your passion. So you will say, "I'm passionate about wellness, nutrition, and I'm also passionate about being physically active." And then you can maybe continue with, "I'm also a fluent Spanish speaker. And then the last year, I was able to strengthen my Spanish skills when I worked with a virtual support group of single Spanish-speaking mothers. I connected them with wellness resources for the teens struggling with mental health challenges." And that made me also very interested about working with people and providing hands-on assistance to people with mental health needs. And then, that you may be interrupted and that the person will ask you something. So because you will provide them enough to have a conversation with you. So another tip that I already mentioned it, but I would like to give it to maybe reiterate it again. So write your elevator pitch, write it down. And if you want, you can write a paragraph. Some people find it more useful to write just talking points, because then they can play around with them and maybe, because when you write it down, sometimes, this is how you want to present it. And when you have just talking points, you will feel more flexible with how you will construct it. So as I mentioned before about templates, I strongly recommend that that either you, maybe creating your own template will work. But I'm not yet sure that other people's templates work that well. And I would also recommend practicing, but don't over-rehearse. Again, you don't want to sound robotic. And a few more hacks on practicing. So it's good to record yourself, the magic number is 3. It's good to practice with someone. I also mentioned, career advisors, we're happy to do that with you. When you talk, when you present yourself, just smile, look at the person who you present, who are introducing yourself. Make short pauses, maybe emphasize important points, and be in the moment and be genuine. And and another tip that I wanted to give you today is that, again, I've mentioned it before, but I just want to reiterate again, that elevator pitch is just the beginning. So don't stress out too much about it. Enjoy the opportunity to engage with employers. Enjoy the opportunity to introduce yourself, and that will kind of help to have a good vibes, and will also help to start the conversation, and then kind of engage in the conversation, and that's what you want to happen. So there are 4 additional resources that I want to mention here. And we have on our YouTube, our channel on YouTube, we have several workshops on this topic presented by my colleagues. We all have different approaches to different career kind of questions, career topics. So I would strongly recommend that you check other sessions as well, and maybe you can get some additional tips that will work for you. Also on Handshake, I found a blog that is also about elevator pitch for college students. So I would also recommend that you look at it. And I think that I'm kind of came to the end of my presentation. So I would like to ask you to ask me questions. I will be happy to provide you with answers or some suggestions. So should I?
Up to you, Anna. You can keep your screen up or stop sharing. If anyone does have questions, you're welcome to use the Q&A or the chat to ask them. If you are comfortable going off mute, let me know and I can give you the opportunity to speak if that is better for you. So you can do that with raise your hand, chat, Q&A, but it's over to you all for questions. Anna, so we have a question in the chat. If you feel that the person you're presenting to is bored, how do you go about that? How could you regain their attention?
Oh, that's okay. That's a wonderful question. So ask a question. When stop talking about yourself. People are never people are never bored when they talk about themselves. So if you see that this person is bored, because this person is not talking about themselves. So then stop and immediately, and you can say, oh, enough about myself, or you don't need to even say that. Say whatever you're comfortable with, and so they very much want to know about XYZ. So that's why it's important when you go to the job fair, you know who come. So you have this wonderful opportunity to research. Of course, if you are in a networking situation, sometimes who's coming. Again, you can look for those people, and you can again do some prepare in advance. But when you're just in a networking situation that you were not able to do any research on who you will be talking to. Just be in the moment. There's and if you see the person is bored, which is wonderful, you noticed, which means you are in the moment. Then go with questions. And just ask them what they work on, what their organization is working on, what are the challenges, what are the what they like about their work, what they like about their organization. If the person is recruiter, so what they're looking for, what skills they're looking for, what how to stand out to hiring managers in those organizations. So these are the different questions, but yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Thanks, Anna. So there's a couple in the Q&A. The first one, do you find any significant elevator pitch differences between public and private companies, or when speaking to recruiters from those sectors?
No, I don't think so. No, it's still, you still want to, I see more, the differences in, in terms of, in the situation. situation. So if it's a virtual fair, or if it's in-person fair, whether it's a networking reception, that's kind of there are the differences, because employers and recruiters, they go, and whether regardless their industry, they go attend different events with different goals in mind. And if it's a job fair, they are prepared to maybe listen and to maybe a longer elevator pitch. If it's a networking, they want to talk to many people and kind of mingle, and then they want to, that appetizer, remember that I showed you, that to be really light. So just not kind of over do it with skills and interests, because that's the employer goes to that networking situations with a different, as I said, with a different objective. But no, private government, the relevant skills and that relevant experiences, that's what you need to think of. What would be the relevant skills for not-profit or for government or for private, and specifically if you had those experiences in the same with the organization from the same industry or that of course you want to highlight those experiences.
Thank you. So the next question in Q&A, do you always initiate the conversation with the employer, or should you wait for them to speak first?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. I would recommend initiating conversations, because that's, and especially the job fair, the employers are they are next to they're standing at their tables. So you come to the fair and you go to and talk to the employer. You may want to try and as I said, pilot and see what will be comfortable for you. So you may go to the employer and then just introduce yourself, and then maybe just like a short pause and see if that employer would, oh, well, tell me about it. Oh, that's interesting. And they will ask you a question, and then you will respond, and then you will throw some, skills and relevant experiences that you have thought about. Yeah, so you can try and see if that works best for you. Or you go and present and engage and present and kind of do your presentation, and then I will still recommend doing short pauses, because maybe then the employer would like to immediately get into the conversation with you.
Thanks, Anna. Do you think it would be or could be a good idea for students, alumni, to maybe practice with employers that they weren't initially interested in, but to, practice their elevator pitch on certain employers that they're not maybe looking at fully networking with, but could get some of those jitters out of the way?
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea. Just kind of to get something like a warm up, and just, also to warm up your vocal cords as well. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. Do we have any other questions?
There are none in the Q&A or chat. Oh, one did just come in. How do you retain your contact with an employer when you're a first year freshman or sophomore that isn't eligible or able to have an internship job at the moment? So how do you maintain that connection?
Well, that's an excellent question. So when you talk with an employer, uh, make sure that you uh, articulate, that you express your interest, your enthusiasm for the employer, for the field that this employer is in, and you can and just say directly that I would love to continue to maintain connection with you, continue following your organization. So what will be the best way? Or can we connect on LinkedIn? I've just started LinkedIn. Can I find you on LinkedIn and connect with you? Or maybe you have a business card. So employers, when they come to the job fair, many of them still bring business cards. It was always like that in the past, but then recently fewer, well, not fewer, but some started not bringing their business cards, but they still may have it, may have business card with them, and so you will ask, and then for the card, and then after the job fair, so maybe the next day, send them a message saying that thank you so much for talking to me. When we met first, tell them that we met at the fair, at the American University Fair, the date, because their job is to go to different fairs, college fairs. So you want first to say that where you met with this employer, and then yeah, so thanking them. It was very interesting to find out about this and that. So you need to make sure that you ask some questions, and I very much hope that that I will be able to intern with your company, maybe next, like you said, next semester or next year, or when I junior, so something like that. So that could be, that's a very good move to make. Mhm.
Great. So the next question, do you think it's worth asking a company if they provide sponsorship for work visas, even if it's mentioned that they don't on the handshake employer list, for example?
Well, I think that, that's always good to ask, so it's yeah, that you can even ask, if they have in the past, or maybe will they be, will they be maybe rethinking this in the future? So why not? This is your opportunity. Ask questions, and when you ask that question again, it kind of shows the employer that you want to work there. That you are interested in them. So that's good. That they will definitely appreciate it.
Okay, a couple more in the Q&A.
Mhm.
Should I mention I have a mental disability when introducing myself?
Um, well, that's an interesting question. If that's, I would think that I would probably, if that matters, if that for the interaction, or if that matters for that employer, whether they work in that field, then I would mention that. But if it's not, doesn't, if it's not apparent in that, situation, or if this is not a field that this, that is related to this issues, then I would not even, I would not mention it at the beginning, as an introduction.
And the next question, is the job fair suitable for students already in a career path, or are these employers preferring to meet with students with no job experience? For example, would it be suitable for someone who already has 10 years of experience to go to?
To the well, we have usually we have employers who come with different needs, because the employers, when they come to the job fair, they have needs. They want to find talent for their organization. I quickly looked at the positions that that are available this year, this fair, and I've seen a number of positions that require experience. So therefore, I would yes, therefore I would definitely recommend to attend if you have an opportunity to do that. And also because these, the representatives who come to the fair, they can connect you with their human resources who work maybe for more mid-level opportunities. So yeah, they can the answer is yes. Yeah, come talk to employers and show the interest. That's the most important. When you come, you can't argue with interest. So when an enthusiasm, if you come and show your interest in this employer, enthusiasm for this employer, irrespective of what they have now available, they will be eager to talk to you. They will be eager to work with you and connect you. Okay.
Any other questions? Nothing's coming in.
I can show you if we have time. I prepared a couple bonus slides in case if we have time left. So I'll be happy to show it to you now if that's okay.
Yeah, we still have about 6 minutes, and for everyone, this is also being recorded as well. So you'll be welcome to come back to this recording tomorrow when we post it on our YouTube channel. But go ahead, Anna, we have some time.
Okay. Okay, let me. So, okay, some bonus advice. So I just wanted to quickly talk about some other situations, because I mostly focus on the job fair. So when you have, well, I kind of mentioned them, but still a couple more tips, if I may. So when you find it yourself, or you go to an in-person networking event, and I think that we have several planned this semester. So when you're preparing your elevator pitches or introductions, think that you probably will, that those elevator pitches or introductions should be really short. And but it's good to have some good story in mind, skill in mind, experience in mind. So when you have a conversation, you can maybe share it in the process of the conversation. But your focus should be on really have a conversation with a person who you will be networking. Also, if you can come up with some maybe witty 1 or 2 sentence kind of introductions, it's wonderful. That will work very well for you. I remember when I started career advising, and then when I went out to events, and people would ask me what I do. So I would tell them something like, I help people figure out what to do with their lives. And they were just, what? And so I'm a career advisor. So that if I remember that got really drawn people's attention when I said that. Another kind of short introduction for myself, again, that I've come up with, and I use in some networking situations, when I said, oh, I'm a career advisor, and I work with students on helping them to figure out what to do with their lives, and salary, and how to ace salary negotiations, and everything in between. So again, it's just one sentence or two sentences that people, oh, especially they're interested in salary negotiations. I should probably talk to you because I really want to get a better salary. So yeah, think about, something, maybe one or two lines that can draw a person's attention. Also, in-person panels. So we may have some employer panels, alumni panels in person. What I strongly recommend that after the panel, go and talk to presenters. I mean, if you find them interesting. What I see often that students, after the panel is over, and panelists are still still there in the room, but students are gone. And I always feel like why they left. They came, they stay, maybe even ask a question, but why they just didn't go. And of course, maybe you have a class. I understand that, but I think even a very short interaction, if you will come to the presenter, say, thank you so much. It was very interesting. I particularly enjoyed XYZ. Unfortunately, I have to run to the class, but I very much hope that we can connect, and maybe I can pick your brain even more on that subject. Can I find you on LinkedIn? And most likely said, yeah, of course, connect me with LinkedIn, on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to talk to you. So another thing, when we have a virtual fairs or employer meetups, virtual. So some of them could be individual meetings. So then your EP, and usually they're about 10 or 15 minutes long. So you have an undivided attention of an employer at that virtual employer sessions. So you can go with a really substantive elevator pitch, something that I presented to you in the beginning, or that Shepard Pratt elevator pitch. So you can go with a substantive appetizer, using my metaphor. But make sure that you check lights, tech issues, your camera angle. Think about your posture when you talk on virtually, right? And then you can have a group meeting, also as a part of virtual job and internship fair. I would suggest you participate in the chat. Of course, in the chat, you cannot write a lot about yourself, but sometimes just the fact of sending a question in the chat may open an opportunity for you for further interaction and engagement with the employer. So just maybe write in advance when you know about that virtual job fair and a group session. So your name, your major, relevant interest, one sentence, and relevant question. And don't forget about thank you. So this is just a quick example. So hi, my name is Anna. I'm graduating in December with Bachelor of Science in Health Promotion. Very interested in helping people with mental health needs. What skills are you looking for in successful candidates for the direct support professional position? Thank you. And you can write it in advance and then put it in the chat, because the employers, they save the chat when they go to virtual fairs, and they may be interested to contact you. So my last probably tip for today is that any networking situation may happen anywhere, or any situation can become a networking situation anywhere. So it's wherever you go, don't forget to pack a pack of your EPs. Okay, so thank you so much for your attention and for your time. If you are a CAS, a College of Arts and Sciences student, or a School of Education student, I'll be more than happy to see you at my advising appointments and help you to think through your EP and help you practice it. Or my colleagues will equally be happy to help you and coach you. So please think about Career Center, and we will be happy to see you at the job fair next Wednesday.